you guys? Welcome back to my channel, The Unpopular Party, hosted by me, Malik Taylor. And today, with it being the month of October, I figured why not do something a little spooky and something I haven't seen, which is a huge deep dive on BGC, conspiracy theories, secrets, dark rumors. So I figured, let's do an ultimate BGC iceberg video. I have not seen nobody do this. Now, what is an iceberg? Let me explain. An iceberg conspiracy is one where you start with the most talked about or the most known conspiracy theory, maybe some that are just face value, and then as you get deeper and deeper in that iceberg, you find some stuff you never heard of or the darkest, insane conspiracy theory there is. So that's what we're doing. Now, this is not just one I got off of Google. I actually sat here and made this because I hate when I'm watching other creators do iceberg videos and they're like, oh, someone just put this there, I'm not sure what is here, but no, do your research. I made this myself based on rumors, theories I've seen, and just watching from a kid. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys send my way. It really does mean a lot to me. And without further ado, let's get started with the ultimate BGC conspiracy theory iceberg video. Starting with the top of the iceberg. First up, we got BGC1 Cocktails. If you don't know who Cocktails is a girl who was on For the Love of Ray J. She ended up winning For the Love of Ray J, but a lot of people don't know that she was actually on the first season of BGC.
My name is Joanna. I am the gold digger. I don't care what you think, and if you're rich, I'm your bitch.
Now, to add a little to it, Cocktail, she did win For the Love of Ray J, but she also went on to be a part of VH1 I Love Money, but she was a part of season 3, and season 3 was the season that got canceled because the person that won season 3, he actually unalived his wife at the time and himself. It was a big scandal. I did a video on that, check that out. Next, we got BGC4 was the breakout season of BGC, in which that's kind of like a known fact. You know, when Bad Girls Club first started, it was getting some traction, it was getting some views, but I believe it was a rumor at the time that after BGC3, if the next season didn't do good, they was gonna cancel the series. And BGC4 with Natalie and Flo, Kendra and Amber and them, it did so good. It was the breakout and it kept the season going. But put a pin in that Miss Natalie. She comes up in this iceberg. Next, at the top of the iceberg, we have BGC13 replacements. Now, if you don't know, when BGC13 was going on, that was the All-Star season. But during that season, we only got one replacement of the All-Stars, which was Rima. Now, the rumor is there was actually supposed to be more previous All-Stars to be a part of this season. Some of the people that was scheduled to be a replacement was Erica and Gia from BGC season 8. I forgot why Erica didn't do it, but it was said that Gia, she didn't want to participate because they wanted her to have this alcoholic edit. Like, it was like she was still drinking a lot, and she was like, no, I don't want to do that. So she declined that season. Also, Tiara from BGC season 7, she was a strong contender for this season, but she leaked the contract and they was like, girl, you can't do that. Next, we got BGC 14 through 17 was never supposed to happen, and that is a fact. Season 13 was the All-Star season, and the tradition was every time at the reunion, we got the preview for the next season. After BGC 13, they ain't had no preview, they hugged. Because that was supposed to be the wrap. It's like, okay, we have All-Star season, that's it. But change of heart, they decided to do BGC 14 and onward, but those season was never supposed to happen, allegedly. Next, we got the BGC 12 edited reunion. This is a fact. A lot of what you see on BGC 12, the reunion, was edited out between Blue punching Jada, how the fights was orchestrated, different stuff pieced together. I don't know why they edited their reunion so much. I think Blue said in the interview, they didn't want to just put it out like that, but yeah. If I had to make a guess though, I would say because at this reunion, they was jumping, and due to all the backlash that season 11 got for jumping, the producers was like, yeah, we're not gonna air like that. Plus, with Blue punching Jada, Blue hadn't fought that whole season, and she had such a protected image. I didn't think they wanted to show all of that going down like that. Next, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but Wet from Jocelyn's Cabaret, she actually auditioned for BGC 9, and it's so interesting to think what it would have been like if we would have saw Special Delivery on BGC season 9.
Special delivery, Chung-Li Wet.
That's it. Last on the top of the iceberg, we have the BGC 5 ending. Now, BGC 5 is one of the ones where it ended so differently. Usually at the end of the season, they all pack up, we see them do their goodbyes, but at the end of season 5, all we saw was Ashley get jumped and Christian and Morgan come back and tear up the house.
You know your whack-ass girlfriend? How do you spell karma? M-O-R-G-A.
After After that, it was the reunion. According to what people said, after that big brawl, they just had some hotels and didn't even bother finishing the ending. Christian also stated that Christian and Morgan, they flew back, I want to say after the season was done, and they just filmed the footage of just ruining the house, and that was just that on that. All right, we're done with the top of the iceberg. Let's move to the middle of the iceberg. This first one talks about Angela and her MTV connections. Now, Angela was a cast member on BGC 15. She was a part of the Twisted Sister season, but she was, I believe, the first one to transfer from BGC on Oxygen and go to MTV X on the Beach. At that time, that was kind of unheard of. You know, if you stayed in the Oxygen, where you was in the Oxygen era, you wasn't mixing and going to the real world. But Angela was able to cross that bridge, jump ship, and she did X on the Beach. I'm a OG, get to know me. And she also did the season of The Challenge. For my WWE fans, it's kind of like when Mickie James showed up to the Royal Rumble with the TNA Championship. It was a breaking of the wall. And it's like she got all the privileges of being the bad girl, even though it was previous bad girls we wanted to see, but I wasn't that far against because I did like Angela at the time. Next, we have the Mona Simone interviews. Listen, shout out to Ed Connection TV and Mona Simone, because back in the day, Mona Simone used to be the ones getting all the tea with the interviews. M to the O to the not say what, side to the mo to the knee, I'm her. But Mona interviews used to get them into some trouble. Oxygen used to be pissed because they was going on there spilling so much stuff that was about to happen on the season or what happened on the reunion. And it got to the point Oxygen was just like, listen, I gotta sign these contracts. But Mona Simone used to get the tea and the stories first, but those interviews are gone now. I think he put them behind a paywall now, understandable. Next on this iceberg, we have Nikki, BGC 10, and talk about how her exit from BGC was a lot more brutal. So from what we see on TV, Nikki was just fed up and she wanted to go home, and she was crying and had a mental breakdown. They edited like she was weak.
Free from the house of horrors and gold diggers. You skinny bitch, so you look like Eddie Murphy.
But in real life, Nikki stated that no, production wanted to keep Nikki home because they wanted to get a big going home brawl. And they pretty much just locked her in the house. Nikki just wanted to go home gracefully, but she was on the phone with her mom, contacting her mom saying she doesn't feel comfortable, she doesn't want to be here no more, and that they would not let her go. It got to the point where the mom actually had to call 911 and say they have my daughter hostage, let this girl go, to get them to release her and let her go home. Nikki has also stated on a Mona Simone interview, she was like, I don't care, I'll throw Oxygen under the bus. She used to give it up. She told all Oxygen business. Next on this iceberg, we have that Jamie and Jazz fought an audience member. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if you look at the BGC 15 reunion, you see Jamie and Jazz, they just got into a brawl with Christina and Angela, and they're being taken away, but then all of a sudden, Jamie is just like, whoa, what's up?
Come on, I got security. What's up, bitch? What's up, bitch? Exactly, the dumbass bitch. I'm here, baby. Dumb.
The rumor has it that Jamie just didn't get a rush of adrenaline. She actually fought an audience member, but at that time, you know, they didn't air it. Yeah, that's the rumor. But put a pin in Jamie and Jazz. Next on this iceberg, we have the BGC Lost episode. Now, everybody looks at me crazy when I talk about this episode because nobody knows what I'm talking about, but I know I'm not going crazy. There was a BGC Lost episode after the twins got sent home. And you know, Oxygen was real big on Danny and Gabby at the time. But after they went home, they did this whole TV special on Danny and Gabby. They went to their house. The dad was talking about Amy. They was talking about how their mama made them the stars and to be on the lookout for them at the reunion. Even Amy got on Twitter and was like, why is your dad talking about me and I didn't even jump you? But you go to find that episode, it's like missing. It's nowhere to be found. I think it just aired one time. But every time I bring it up, people look at me silent. I'm like, nah, I know exactly what I saw. It was real vivid. And I was like, oh, Amy. So that is why I call it the BGC Lost episode.
Ran the house in Las Vegas.
Thank you. I already know. That question was a statement. We did run the house.
You did run. Dan, you giving me a lot of attitude, boo. A lot.
But it's not to you. It's just like when she gets talking about the house, I turn into a monster because it just like brings me to an evil place.
Erica and Gia.
Next time I see you girls at the reunion, instead of wearing makeup, you're gonna be wearing a black eye.
Next on this iceberg, it's just a fun fact. The BGC All-Star Battle promo is featuring BGC 11 girls.
Your favorite bad girls are getting ready for battle.
At that time, season 11 hadn't aired yet, and it was during the day when they was doing their media day for the season. They had them do the little promo, yeah. Next on this iceberg is the BGC 18 cast. After season 17, even though that was the last season, there was a BGC 18 that was about to happen. The flyer was out. It was gonna be a Southern season, and they was looking for all the girls from the South to get together and do this special Southern season. But once the network decided to cancel the series, they stopped all production on it. They stopped, you know, the audition process and everything. But rumor has it, there was a cast that was, you know, in brewing, but we never got to see it. I will say I much rather would have preferred to see that BGC 18 Southern season, because that did kind of sound interesting, but we'll never know. Next on this iceberg, we have that Jamie and Jazz are not replacements. Now, you have to remember, when Jamie and Jazz popped up in the house, technically speaking, they're not replacing nobody because this was the sister season. At the time, the only people that went home was some twins, and then we got the ghost twins. We won't get to the ghost twins. But when the ghost twins left, you would think, okay, we're replacing one pair of twins. But apparently, allegedly, they said that the millionaires replaced it one twin and Jamie and Jazz replaced another twin. Sounds good, but that would mean when Diamond and Olivia went home, it should have been two sets of sisters to come in to replace Diamond and Olivia. But it wasn't. That's why the theory says Jamie and Jasmine are not replacements because they just popped up in the house. Next on this theory, we got that Brandy BGC 5 is banned from the Oxygen Network, and according to Christian, that was true. Basically, you know, Brandy at the time, she would just get drunk and just go crazy. And one time they said she made the wrong person mad. She got to drink and went crazy, hit an actual BGC producer. They got to fight. And from there, that's why BGC 5 Brandy was banned from the network. Brandy castmate Christian actually did a video on it a couple of years ago, and she pretty much explained in full detail what happened. It's a lot of stuff with BGC 5. That was the dark horse of the BGC series. Next, we got Shelly with the bleach contact.
What's wrong? If she goes blind, I'm gonna feel bad.
Maybe you should go wash them out. Nastasia?
Now the rumor is that Shelly never really put bleach in Stassi contact because they would not allow that. You know, Shelly did tamper with Stassi contacts, but because of that liability, the production actually couldn't let Shelly put bleach in this girl contact or let this girl have her contacts. Now she did alter those contacts, which is still bad. Even the thought process into, oh, you're gonna put bleach in my contact, that's very deadly.
That's not only childish, that's a criminal defense.
But it says she never really did the act. Judy also said like during that time, you know, they would let the girls do what they do, like when Judy spit on the pizza, but they didn't actually serve that stuff to the girls. You know, they threw that out baked into the pizza. And next on this, we got Sydney, BGC 9. Now, this is actually talking about Sydney's star. You know, Sydney long going beef with Judy was that she blocked her from actually appearing on the season 9 installment of BGC.
You called up to Bad Girls Club production and told them not to put me on the show, bitch, when I was out in LA.
Sydney said she auditioned, they liked her, they was gonna actually move forward with it. But Judy made a call and was like, no, I don't think this will be a good idea. And they listened to Judy and they didn't put her on the show because of the fact that she was trans. Now, do I think that is true? No. If Oxygen was going on now, they probably would have put the girl on the show. It's more open. But back then, it was just a thing for girls. They didn't put like openly trans people on the show just yet. The world was not that inclusive. And yeah, they would let people go to the next round. Like they let a boy go to the next round for Bad Girls Club. But they was never gonna actually put them on the show. And I don't think Judy had that much pull to not put Sydney on the show. So I think producers just ultimately decided to not put Sydney on BGC 9. Next up, we're back to season 7. Season 7 had a lot of secrets as well. We're talking about the missing BGC 7 cast. Here's the theory. There's this long urban legend within the BGC community that the season 7 cast that we see, that is not the cast that was originally supposed to happen. They're saying it was a previous cast of Bad Girls Club. And they had the girls casted, they were getting ready for the show, but they had to stop the show halfway through because it was so brutal. A girl got her face slashed, they had to send these girls home, make them sign NDAs, and recast BGC 7 real quick. That's why the premiere date was delayed by a month. And that Judy, Tierra, and Stassi were actually scheduled to just be replacements on that season. Now looking back, I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was true, and then they started putting like, oh, this is the behind the scenes, this is the cast, and then they even have a picture of a girl who was allegedly talking to Shar on VGC. Now this rumor has been debunked.
Season 7 was not an alternate cast. I see that that's one of like the biggest like rumors or whatever, that we were like a fake cast and the real cast, something happened and they had to get us last minute. Like, let's be honest. Yeah, no, we were the real original cast of season 7, okay? Like, let's think about it. What would season 7 New Orleans have been without me, the Voodoo Queen, or Miss Voodoo? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, given to how I know how casting work, I don't think they would have just sent them home and just started over, and somebody would have said something by now, and it would have been a lot to try to find a new set of girls. I don't think, it's like 90% I'm like, I don't think that happened, but it's like 10% that's just like, I don't know. Next on this iceberg, we have Annie from BGC 4 was just a pawn. It states that since Annie was so nice that she was just a pawn put in the house to get beat on. Like they knew she was soft, they knew that the girls were gonna run over her. Me personally, I don't buy that rumor for a second. I always stay to just say Annie was a bad girl. Was she like a boom, boom, boom bad girl? No, but she was sneaky. She was shiesty. She wasn't bad with the fit, but you know how evil you gotta be to come up with a plan for a girl thinking she taking her protein shake and it's butter in there and you sit back watching her gain 20 pounds?
Kate likes to pick fun at me because she knows as mad as I'm ever gonna get, I'm never gonna hit her. But just because I'm not gonna hit her doesn't mean I won't do other things to her. You can't do that to me. So I've decided to melt butter and put it in Kate's steroids.
You're evil. Next on this, we have Elise. So Elise is basically a girl that was on BGCA, but it turns out nothing about Elise was actual true. Elise wasn't even her real name. Allegedly, that wasn't even her real sister. Elise was just bored and was like, I want to live this lifestyle real quick, but apparently, you know, her real name is something else. She's selling real estate. She's living a very good lifestyle, but nothing about Elise on that show was real. It was just like a social experiment, which is kind of smart because when people try to Google her, you know, they can't find her actual name. Elise pop up, but yeah. Next on this Iceberg is Camilla, America's Next Top Model. A lot of people don't know this, but Camilla actually tried out for America's Next Top Model. If you go back and look at America's Next Top Model season 10 and watch that first episode, you could see her in the background. You could see her being one of the top 30 girls that was called. Not only that, she made it through the first round. She just didn't get no airtime. But she's in that black dress when Tyra was calling names. And Tyra didn't call her. And I think she would have worked perfectly for that American Next Top Model Cycle 10. She would have added some personality to the house because God knows Cycle 10 was boring. I also been binge watching old episodes of The Game on Netflix. And I see Camilla, she got a couple episodes where she was guest starring in the extra role in the background. I'm like, okay, she got a little resume. Next on here, we got the BGC OnlyFans started Baddies, and I have talked about this before. Baddies is something bigger that started off so small. It was just supposed to be BGC little OnlyFans show, and now we here. But put a pin in Baddies, we're gonna talk about Baddies later. Next on this Iceberg is that producers sent Erica home, which is, I think, a fact at this point. Erica from BGC 9, she was tormented and got into it with Rayma. But during this season, they was fighting. Like, let's just call it what it is. They was fighting, they was giving it up. All of a sudden, Erica, who never got into a fight on this show, she fight Rayma. The fight wasn't even all that, but they said something, oh, because the way you punched her back in, we have to send you home.
I need for you to pack your bags, because you're gonna go home.
Why am I going home?
The punch to the face was pretty brutal. You can say your goodbyes, and we have a car waiting for you outside.
That was BS. Allegedly, the rumor is that they wanted the season to go a particular way, and they knew had Erica stay, that they were just gonna be lap girls behind this girl. And they already got the footage that they needed. For the first half of the season, they already had, okay, we got the story. Erica bullying Rayma, they got they fight. Cool, somebody gotta go home. Now let's introduce somebody else and get a different dynamic into the show. That's just putting my producer cap on. Find some BS excuse, send her home, bring in a new girl, which it worked because after the tension went off Erica, now we find out Rayma's a mean girl. They trying to jump Megan, Christine. It's like, you know, it made sense. All four of the girls came back. Fun fact, the girls never went home. They stayed in a hotel in Mexico. We might not have gotten all that had Erica stayed. So that's what I believe to be true. The Iceberg, we're going back to BGC 7. So apparently the rumor, well, I don't think it's a rumor, but the fact is that with them filming in New Orleans, Louisiana, they have this law that no more than, 4 or 6 girls can stay in the house at the same time. And they got 7 girls. So each night, they would have to be shifts to where they can keep only 4 girls in the house, I believe. The rest of the girls had to stay in the hotel. And if you don't believe me, where was Shelly during the big opening fight?
Where the is Shelly?
You think Shelly was just asleep that whole time, but they had to come up with some excuse as to why Shelly was not in the house, and they didn't feel like explaining all of that. But yeah, Shelly was at a hotel because everybody could stay at their house that night. And the girls talk about that now. I know Tiara said they used to have funny stories, how they used to like run around the hotel. Angie figured out how to crack a phone, so they was calling people. This Iceberg is that Bad Girls All-Star Battle was supposed to be rigged. I don't know about the first season, but definitely the second season. I believe the first season played out how it's supposed to. Jen won, told the story, cool. She got the money, now her baby cousin can come home. But season 2, I don't think Tiana was supposed to win. The season went into a different direction. And here's the thing, when it comes to game shows, especially game shows filmed in California, you cannot rig that. And Judy revealed that as well. Even if they wanted to, you can't. So you just have to let the season play out. Next up, it has Diamond. It's the unofficial cast member of BGC 12. It's just a funny little thing. If you don't remember, Blue was dating Diamond while she was involved with Asia. It was that romance. But Diamond was always in the house. Diamond would come see her girl, and Diamond fought Asia at the reunion.
Let her get her camera time. Bitch, I will you all.
If you ask me, she was the 8th member of that BGC house. Next up, this is talking about BGC unaired fights. There's a lot of unaired fights that never made the scene. It's like a whole wiki page dedicated to all the unaired fights and rumors that never happened on BGC. You can check it out, but probably the most popular ones you'll hear is like the beach brawl on season 5, season 7, Stassi versus Priscilla in the laundry room, Judy versus Angie, which I'm gonna talk about later, and Jenna versus Jayla season 14, because the 3rd round, apparently the cameras was down. And last thing on this iceberg is that the twins got jumped before Mexico, and I feel like every time I get the chance to tell this story, I am going to get the chance to tell the story. If you watch it on the TV, the timeline is that the twins went to Mexico, the girls weren't feeling them, they came back home, jumped them, then they went home. That is not what happened. What happened was, before they went to Mexico, the twins got jumped, and they actually decided to stay. But when they went to Mexico, everything was so awkward. That's why everything is so awkward between them, between the twins and the other girl, because they had just jumped them. That's why Danny and Gabby was doing their own thing, going to their own excursions. They just fought. And then once they got home, the twins just said, we felt so uncomfortable. We just want to stay no more. And the producers were so mad. They was like, do not leave. We only got like 2 weeks left of filming. If you go home, we're going to edit it as if you're weak. And Danny and Gabby said, no, we're going home. They said, okay. It's
unfair. It's 4 against 2.
So at this point, you guys got a taste of your own medicine and you can't handle it.
So they edited it as if Mexico happened, then they got jumped and just left. But no, they got jumped and they stayed for a minute. That's why the twins and Amy, when they got into it in the limo, Amy was like, y'all mad at me? I ain't even touch y'all. That is a fact, and it goes to show you how much production has in control of editing whatever story they want to, which leads me to this, the middle to bottom of this pyramid. Now we're gonna get into some darker stuff. We're gonna get into some crazier stuff. All right. First up, let's talk about Judy versus Angie. Now, you remember when I was always talking about unaired fights? Judy versus Angie is the most talked about unaired fight because people always wanna know, like, why didn't they air it? You could clearly see in the trailer Angie fighting and tugging on Judy. They got into an altercation. Why didn't it air? Judy and them states that it's because nobody got sent home from that situation. And if you was watching in real time, you would have been like, okay, somebody gotta go home. And also they believe that Angie was sleeping with one of the producers. They said Angie allegedly would be like, oh, daddy, and stuff like that to producer, and was real flirty, and she was very protective throughout the season. So, but yeah, that's the rumor. Everybody was like, why didn't they air this? Next up, we got Jennifer season 6 left because she disrespected a producer. This is another urban legend within the BGC community. Okay, so you know Jennifer, BGC 6, she was the Jersey girl. When she left, the way she left was so weird because she was getting into it with Wilma, Nikki, and Lauren, like typical stuff. Jennifer was just like, I'm out, I'm not staying with this.
Even if you're a bad girl, there's a point that it comes to that, like, is this worth my time? I am not this. This is not me. And for me to keep my class, that means to not associate with people of that nature.
The rumor is that day, Jennifer just got like real disrespectful to a producer and was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not getting mic'd up, whatever. And the producer's like, oh, that's how you want to act? Okay. Nikki, go off on her. Do what y'all want to do. I'll go do what y'all want to do. Get loose. And that's why Jen was like, so y'all really not gonna do nothing? Wow, okay, so it's everybody against me? I'm gonna go home. That's the urban legend. Nobody has really confirmed or denied, but I kind of believe it. Next up, we got something, I ain't gonna lie, this shocked the hell out of me. It talks about Jamie and Jazz and Jaguar Wright. Did you know that Jaguar Wright is Jamie and Jazz auntie? Did not know that. So here's the thing. You remember that weekend when the parents came to see them, right?
Corny, he's scared to talk. But he got all that mouth.
The rumor is that Jaguar Wright has tried to warn her nieces of their dad because Jaguar has seen his ways and tried to be like, your dad is not what he's seen.
Here's a new blind item that is allegedly about Jaguar Wright and her nieces trying to discredit her, but Jaguar having not even told us nearly half of what she knows about the industry. There is a singer, Jaguar Wright, who has made a name for herself exposing what she saw in the industry when she was a star. She says all of it is real life. Her nieces, Jasmine Carter and Jamie Wallace, were on the Bad Girls show, Bad Girls Club, and tried to discredit her when she told the story about their father. She knows how operate and isn't even telling half of what she knows. And Jaguar Wright's sister is the mama who was cussing out the dad, and it really puts into contact when Jazz was like, I got real life problems outside of this stuff. Laura, you can't fix this.
That's all?
My dad, he can be really ratchet. I don't know how this meeting's gonna go tomorrow, but Laura's gonna see. Even though I know it's supposed to be centered around me and Jamie, it's way bigger than this house. Which is why I can care less about a bunch of bitches who don't like me. I got bigger problems to deal with, like.
I found it out through a blind item. Shocked me so bad. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Next, we're gonna talk about Love Games 5. Now, this is just a big rumor that I really believe to be true, but after Love Games 4, it was rumored there was gonna be a Love Games 5, but it just never happened. The rumor is that the original cast that was supposed to be for Love Games 5 was gonna be season 10, Nancy, Valentina, and Janae. But because they didn't go forward and give them that Love Games 5 special, they let them do that little Find Me My Man special on Oxygen. That's another thing I would have loved to see, just Nancy, Valentina, and Janae in their house trying to look for love, especially Nancy. Next up, we got Christina Real A. Now, this is another urban legend within the community, is that Christina was not actually 21 when she was on BGC, but she was actually 19. But because they was filming the show out the country, 19 is the legal drinking age in Mexico, so they let her come on the show. And a lot of people still believe that to be true. Christina has technically debunked that. I think she said it wasn't a lie, but I don't think she never just said yes or no. I think she just said, y'all so crazy. Nah, I believe in an interview she said, like, she was with an agent and they was trying to pursue her career in the entertainment music industry, and to make her seem more marketable, they would lie about her age, but she was actually like in her 20s on the show, so yeah. But also, fun fact when it comes to Christina was supposed to be on the top 10 OMG moments on BGC or something like that. And she was by herself talking, but they edited her segment out, just like that. Next up, it talks about Angie slept with the BGC producer. I kind of just covered that in Judy versus Angie, but yeah. After that, we have Perez Hilton was fired due to Tasha. So that was the long-standing rumor. After BGC 7, the reunion host, we started getting Tanisha, BGC 8. But for a long time, from season 2 through 7, it was Perez Hilton who was hosting the reunion. Now, it's stated that, you know, Tasha from BGC 7, she didn't like him and she didn't like how he was coming for him, so she made some pulls to producers and she got him fired. That is actually not true. Perez Hilton actually decided to leave. He wanted to do other things.
No, I didn't get fired, but first, I quit.
So, yeah, that's debunking that. And then that's when they got Tanisha. And which I never believed that before, because who is Tasha? Next up, we have Sydney withdrawals. Now, and when it comes to BGC 6, a lot of people feel that Sydney left not because she was having pressure, but because of withdrawal from certain stuff.
I'm done dealing with the bull in this house. It's stressful. It makes me angry every time I wake up in the morning. I have to deal with some kind of drama. I'm just done. I'm out of here.
Sydney needs to understand life doesn't owe you anything. The 5 of us, the original 5, we're sticking this out. This is a hard thing to do. This is the Bad Girls Club.
That's just a rumor though. Next up, it says that Delilah was a plant. If you remember Delilah from BGC 12, you remember the way she came into the house was just so overly over the top.
But you can be nice and show me around.
This not the nice girls club.
Oh, okay. Look at you getting all ratchet. She's trying to put like a hard like.
No, I'll tell you that's low.
Cold class, I just got here. Like, just show me around. Like, you don't have to turn ghetto.
A lot of people feel like she was a production plant. Producers told her, hey, go into the house. There are some stuff. This is the things to say that's gonna make these girls mad. That's what she did. And I do kind of believe that. I believe that a lot, actually. Next up, we're talking about some more sensitive stuff, and that's Christian got. Now, this goes back to talk about the season 5, when Christian was just acting all wonky when she fought Leah.
Are you kidding me? I don't know. Why don't you just tell me? I don't know. Why don't you tell me what you said? I don't know. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. What did I just? I didn't hear you.
Comes to find out that a guy her drink. He put something in her drink when she wasn't looking and she drunk it.
Then these sailors came up to us pretty much and they were like, oh, look, we got fake tattoos. Like they put one of them put a fake tattoo on me and we're talking to them. And then the producer comes over to them and he's like, hey guys, if you're gonna talk to the girls, you need to sign these waivers that you're gonna be on the show. And one of the guys, the one who ended up me, was like, no, I'm not gonna sign a waiver. But pretty much, so we're talking to these guys. And then at some point, this sailor guy drugged me.
That, Oxygen caught it on camera, I believe, but they could not air that because it was a liability or they could get sued. Next up, we're gonna talk about BGC 5 a little bit. BGC 5, Cat and the stripper situation. Once again, BGC 5 is the most dark horse urban legend season of BGC. And Kat, if you was watching the season and you never watched BGC, you would think Kat just wanted to leave the show because she was better than all these girls.
I love these girls. Honestly, I do. Well, some of them. But I can't live like this. If this is what it means to be a bad girl, to get in drunken bar fights and get thrown out of clubs, that's just embarrassing.
That is not true. Kat left the show because she's a stripper with a fork, I think in the head. Kat was about to go to jail. When Natalie said, Kat, I don't think they understand you a real Philly dilly. They get active. She meant that. I believe after that situation, Kat had to go ASAP. It was like, girl, we about to be stuck here in Jamaica because of your action. I forgot what happened. They was like, Kat kept saying, you need to move. He wouldn't move. She said, you need to move. And all of that, I'm better than you. And I don't think I should stay. That was all edited. That was all planned. They told Kat what to say. And if I'm Kat, you know, I'm gonna work with this angle too because I can't go to Jamaican jail.
Like with that last situation in Jamaica.
Yeah.
That particular situation was with a man. And that's what got me sent home.
Got you.
And I never really talked about it, you know what I mean? Because it was a case and everything. Like they were literally like, you're going to jail.
And continuing with the BGC 5, this is the most talked about edited fight in the outside BGC community, but it's the BGC 5 beach ball. And Pauly D actually had to jump into the fight. So the thing is this, the little beach ball you see on TV, it lasted longer than on TV. In real life, they fought for a little minute. Other people jumped in, outsiders jumped in. And so much so, Pauly D from the Jersey Show, he had to jump in the fight and break it up.
Allegedly.
Now, of course, they couldn't air Pauly D on there, but a lot of people would give a lot to actually see that full footage of that beach brawl because that was a moment. Next up, we got Natalie versus Ashley, BGC 6 in Mexico. Now, a long time ago, Natalie Nunn, I guess she just called herself just on a binge tweet, but she got to tweeting about a lot of the other girls. And then she said something about Ashley, I called it, but she said something about Ashley and her getting into it in Mexico. Now, for this one, y'all just gonna take my word for it because I cannot find none of those tweets. And I promise you, I just saw it the other day, but it's okay. I got good muscle memory because I remember what era this was. This was during the era when Natalie was like, hey, Jazz Monet, I got 4 bundles for you. Know, that era when Natalie was just a troll on Twitter. And I never forget, it was one day she just got drunk and she just got on Twitter and she was just talking about a whole bunch of bad girls. She was talking about Jazz Monet, and Ashley was one of the bad girls that she was talking about. She was like, I dumped that bra in Mexico and blah, 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 blah. Those tweets are gone. We could chalk it up to a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, but remember, he doesn't lie. Next up on this Iceberg, it talks about BGC 5 Morgan, and it just talks about how Morgan really did get the bad end of the stick when it comes to production. If you didn't know, production set up all of Morgan going home. Production did not like Morgan. They thought she was mean. They thought she was rude. They thought she was nasty. And they told the girl, we want this girl to go home. So they told the girls, pack her stuff up, put it at the door, even gave them stuff to like write on and put the posters and stuff up saying go home. And all the girls was down for, but because they didn't like Morgan either. But Leah was the only one who was like, I don't know, I ain't really feeling this. And that's why Brandy was like, we can go out with a bang.
Telling you is let's do it bad girl style. Let's go out with a bing bang. Do you not think the house would be even more divided because of it? It doesn't matter. She needs to go.
So when Morgan come home, yes, she was mad at the girls, but Leah had to pull her aside and be like, I didn't do this. They told us to do it. And so who was that? Production. Once Morgan found out production did that, that's why she instantly went to the production room and just tore it up.
Let me go out there so you jump. Stop it.
You have to leave now.
No way. No way.
They got the footage, they sent her home. They didn't get the bang like they thought they would, but they set all of that up. And I'm kind of jumping ahead, but yeah, production, if they would do that, if they want a storyline or they want something, they will tell the girls, here, do this. Next up, we're gonna take it all the way back and talk about Cordelia. And it just states at the time, they really thought Cordelia had unalived herself when she had that big panic attack in the house. When they called the police and all that stuff, the girls really was like, oh dang, like, she unalived herself.
Is it that bad?
Cordelia can't breathe, and we're all scared because we don't know if Cordelia's okay. As much as we fight, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to be like, you know, really sick.
And if you think about it, that's like very dark, because, you know, a house can make you dead stressed where y'all think that, you know, she unalived herself for real. Oh, that's brutal. Next up, Flo breakdown. Now, Flo from BGC4, you know, she's always been known for being a little unhinged. You know, she would tell the girls real quick, I will bash that pretty face in. But when it was All-Star Battle 1, Flo had sacrificed so much from being away from her daughter and doing so much to win this money for her daughter that when she lost All-Star Battle 1, they said Flo had a real major breakdown.
Oh, God. Why did this happen?
Gabby said she thought the girl was gonna unalive herself. It was that bad. Next is back to BGC7. It's a theory that Priscilla tried to unalive Judy. This goes back to the big opening fight on BGC7. A lot of people feel like Priscilla had a knife in her hand when security had her there. She didn't have a knife. No, she did not. That's not true. But she did have the police baton, and she was gonna do Judy in.
Put me back in my room, but she kept flapping her mouth and kept talking shit, so I went back there with a stick and I was gonna beat her.
Stop stabbing you, throw you.
And that night was a lot of stuff happened. They said it went on all night. It was brutal, and production told Tiara and Stassi they could not jump into that fight or, you know, they would get fined because they needed all this footage. But even Judy said, like, Priscilla was going crazy. She was like, I would really unalive you. Like, this could happen. I'm not playing. And it's like, whoa. And the fact that they let that go on for so long, I mean, it's believable. They let the twins get jumped for like 30 minutes. Next up, this is just a little fun theory, but this is about Stacey Williams. Who is Stacey Williams? Well, apparently during, what was it, BGC 6? Apparently when it was like BGC 6, they didn't want people to get the real cast out. So they had hired this little pun to just be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be on the show, oops, and just like feed fake stuff so they could buy into that and they can actually like have the season and stuff going unnoticed and it won't get leaked. Also, allegedly, she was one of the ones that was gonna be on that original BGC 7 cast that got scrapped. But that's just a rumor, it's never been confirmed. My camera kind of died, so I'm gonna do a couple of these as voiceover, but next up we have Christina, BGC 5 rant. So if you don't know, Christina from BGC 5, she went on this whole racist rant toward one of her cast member, Ashley, and it got leaked on TMZ. When I tell you this girl said the word, like, I wanna say like 11 times.
Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you.
It was so bad, she was banned from the Oxygen Network. Next up, we got Amber and Asia was never related, which is not shocking because they stories switched up so many times. First, they was sisters, and they was cousins, and they was friends. Like, it just kept being something different.
I found out that I had a sister when I was 15 years old. My mother is Haitian and my father is from Barbados. My mother is from St. Thomas and then Barbados. Yeah, I'm the side chick's daughter. My auntie Jo, she's like, I got somebody I want you to meet. I see this girl. And I did not like her.
Yeah, it sounds sketchy. And Christina said that apparently they just met prior to filming, allegedly, so. Next up is a theory that I kind of believe, but it's just that production knew that Diamond and Olivia were faking. I feel this is kind of true because production is kind of smarter than you give yourself credit for. And I think they saw these girls and they kind of did like a little digging into their background and they knew like, oh, y'all joking? Y'all want to play? Okay. Let's play. Let's put on a joke. And they made a more fool out of these girls than they intended to be. But I think it's because they knew they were faking the whole time.
Right, the truth is fine. You done have my life already. This is my ex. We used to date. This is my ex.
Next up, we got that Carmina got BGC canceled, allegedly. Now, we all know about that trifling opening fight where them girls tore and destroyed Jayla and the twins' belonging. But, you know, after that situation, they were given the option to sue. And Jayla was like, we need to sue them. And because of them suing BGC, it resulted in the budget being tarnished and the ending of BGC. You know, Jayla said with her full chest when she went on Danny podcast, we got it canceled. But I also do got a couple theories on BGC 14 through 17. And finally, in the middle of the iceberg, we have BGC 14 through 17 was supposed to happen. Now, remember how I said earlier it wasn't supposed to happen? Well, this theory just kind of states that, you know, what made them go back and just do these next couple of seasons for no reason? You know, it had to be some type of reasoning. But if you think about 14 through 17, they feel more darker in comparison than the first couple of seasons. We have that major situation in BGC 14, which I'm about to talk about. And then we have BGC 15 with the ghost twins, which I'm about to talk about that as well. But you know, look at BGC 16, you got Kaylee getting assaulted. And 17 was just like the scraps. It's like, what's this supposed to happen for a more darker, sinister reasoning? And before we get into the bottom of the pyramid, let's talk about the Ghost Twins. The Ghost Twins is one of the most mysterious situations that ever happened in BGC history, because they got these two girls to come on the sister season. But I mean, from the moment I saw these girls, I was like, these don't look like people that will be on BGC anyway. It feels like they only brought these girls in for this moment. But the girls, they had a heart condition and they was brought in handcuffs, which is like, but they brought in handcuffs, and you got all these girls inside the house who is doing a prank that production has helped them win. They're throwing flour on them. House was toupee, you know, and the cameraman, they're seeing them putting marks and stuff on their face. I think the Ghost Twin situation was done intentionally. They come into the house, their glasses is breaking, they're having a heart condition, they're stressed out, they instantly leave. But even when they got to the hotel, they're stranded in the hotel, they can't get access to their phone, they're having health problems. It was bad. It was bad. I believe they filed a lawsuit with Oxygen as well, but I think the thing that makes it so sinister, it was planned. Not necessarily by the girls, but who gave the girls the equipment to do? Who gave the girls all this ammunition? And then on top of that, we just coming in handcuffed? Come on now. Production tried to do that little fine in the moment just to save face, but they was a part of this. All right, y'all, with that, let's go to the bottom of the iceberg. And these are where the real conspiracy theories lie. First up, it states that BGC 14 was Clara Mina humiliation ritual. Now, I know a lot of people throw out humiliation ritual a lot because it's like, if you want to get to a new level, you have to get humiliated to such a dire level. And remember the theory where I states that BGC 14 through 17 was supposed to happen. It kind of feels like they brought this season back to do some sinister stuff to these girls. And I think it's no different than Jayla and the Claremont twins. I used to follow Jayla before she got on BGC, and she was really ready to make it into the industry. She used to be like, I just signed my first autograph. And the Claremont twins, from what I saw, they were yacht girls. Allegedly. So it always felt like them three were the main energy girls, and the rest of the girls were just pawns and supporting cast members. So when that big ordeal happened, which is to this day is the most foul, disgusting thing to ever happen in BGC history. And trust me, the TV version does not do justice as how much their stuff was ruined. Like, it literally gives off, that was hatred. And it was so bad, like when the new girls came into the house and slept into the girls' bed, they broke off in hives. Because remember, the girls peed in their stuff and peed in the bed and messed with the bed. The new girls broke out in hives because production didn't even switch the mattress out. And it's just like, that's very excessive. And then especially knowing that producers are seeing this the whole time, and the producer could easily be like, okay, it done went a little too far. They had hours to throw these girls' stuff outside, designer stuff, spin it together in a spew of pee, bodily fluid, condiments and stuff. Although they did sue and they win, what if that was the part of the plan? What if that was their humiliation ritual? It makes you think. Next on this thing is that BGC is Squid Game. Now, we first think about this, like, nah. But then think about it. Let's think of Squid Game. What does the man say in Squid Game? What does the most richest man in the world and the poorest man in the world have in common? They're bored. So if they easily wanted to get a house together and have these people compete in underground society for some money just for their pure entertainment, they surely can. So it's kind of like the top executives at the top who were bored. They was just like, let's just make a show where we see a whole bunch of girls in a house, in a social experiment, make it look good, strip them of everything, and just see how they go and just watch them go crazy. Now, although nobody died, you know, they went through a whole bunch of mental turmoil after they appeared in the season, so much so they all needed therapy. I mean, Squid Game is kind of a reach, but it's one of those things, you know, it makes you think this is reality TV, and you know, what if? Next up, we have dead BGC members. Now, unfortunately, there are some girls who have been on BGC that have died, and that is very unfortunate. So far, it's only 4 girls that have died from BGC, and that is Whitney from BGC 3, Lindsay from BGC 12, Mimi from BGC 8, and Shay from BGC 17. And that's just very sad. Next up, we have the baddies is the spawn of some very dark energy. Now, remember how I stated earlier that all of this baddie stuff literally started from the OnlyFans stuff? Baddies was not supposed to get as big as it's supposed to get, but it's the spawn of all that dark evil energy from all these previous bad girls who have been on this show and should not be in the producer category, hijacking BGC and taking the importance away from it and just seeing it for entertainment to fight and get all to their lustful desires. Paula said it best, fighting does not make you a bad girl. Baddies kind of highlight that in a glorification way. And I don't mean to get too deep, But that is one of the 4 horses of the apocalypse. We got conquest, which is the chasing the bad energy, and so many people are just broke and desperate for a bag and attention. They throw their morals away.
Look to the bitch next to you, and I need y'all to make out with each other right now. Let's go. I like that.
War, death, what's famine? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I could talk about this topic for days. So when you really think about Zeus Network and baddies and look at the horses of conquest, war, death, famine, and how it talks about, you really will see the horses come in when as a society, good becomes bad and bad becomes good, and they throw out its whole morale code just for quick fame and stuff like that. It's like, wow, that's literally baddies. And then how it's a trickle-down effect, because who is it trickling down to? Our next generation of the youth. And what do they all do? They're all going to school. Like, don't get me wrong, we used to fight in school, but it's like an overindulgence of just stuff that's just more acceptable and fighting and shorter skirts. I don't know, I could talk about this topic for days. Like, don't get me started. But you can just tell baddies is just the spawn of all that dark energy, so much so people just feel uncomfortable when they're watching the show, and especially watching the audition. You're seeing a whole bunch of girls, especially young women, young black women, fight for nothing, kiss each other for nothing, show their body parts off for nothing, all in the names of a ticket and a mere $5,000. That's not the right direction per se. Next up, we have that BGC was a sex ring because of Natalie Nunn. Now this theory is crazy, and it also spawns into the baddies as well, but it basically talks about how Natalie Nunn, she kind of used to pimp these girls out on BGC. Most prime example of that is Kendra.
A secret that was not a part of the show that we had discussed.
What secret?
I don't know. We don't know.
You want to get wet? What was the secret? Come on.
The secret was just Kendra and I had a free day. And the free day escalated to us hanging out with Marcus. That's it. We're going to leave it at that.
In the BGC world, in order to get to the other side and get mainstream, you have to go through Natalie. Natalie would get in connection with a lot of these girls from previous seasons and party with her. Next thing you know, they're out the stage, such as her, Mimi, Sarah, other girls. You know, you see them in Dubai, you see them on yacht trips. You just never know. Not saying it's true, but it's like alleged. But last and finally, at the end of this iceberg, is the theory that Natalie Nunn is in the Illuminati.
Girls, come in, please. Come in, let's pray. Dear baddie gods.
Wait. Which God?
Yeah, because we not mix body and God.
The baddie gods, come on. Everybody silent. Bow your heads. Everybody bow your heads. Dear baddie gods, I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and throwing hands. And dear baddie God, I just want everyone to know the twerk-offs were amazing. And you did your big one. Bow your head, sincere. And everybody, look to your neighbor and slap the shit out of that bitch.
Follow me for this theory. Okay. It's not necessarily she's in the Illuminati per se, but she's a pawn, she's a plant. It goes to say that how was she so connected to so many powerful people in the industry even before, you know, BGC. She used to always say, I run LA, and she used to be around so many people. But fast forward to today, here she is, EP of this baddie stuff, and like I said, it's such a spawn of dark energy. Maybe that's her purpose, maybe that's her role as the plant of the Illuminati. Her role is to continue to put out the most destructive programming within the youth of the Black community, and being that plant and Zeus at the forefront, it kind of helps fulfill her agenda portion. Now all these young girls, they don't want to grow up to be anything, they want to be baddies. They just look to Zeus, they look to baddies, they look to this stuff. This is their idol, and that's why Natalie just keep getting rewarded in so many regards. That's why she keeps getting praised and getting invited to all these awards shows like the VMAs and BET, because she's doing her part, keeping the agenda going. She's praying to the baddies God and targeting the next generation with the things that she's promoting with that show Baddies, which is an overabundance of lust, a great thing of greed, a lack of morality, and always fighting and being disrespectful. That's her part per se.
Bitch, we outside tonight. Put me up.
And I'm not saying it's true. That's just a conspiracy theory, and I was just here to put together this ultimate BGC conspiracy theory video. Oh my gosh, that was a lot, but that was fun to go down memory lane and talk about some stuff. Do you believe any of these theories? Do you think it's be true? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you want me to do some type of this for any other franchise. Put your thoughts in the comment section. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.